what is it, day 23? And I'm kind of in like a mellow, saddish mood, and I've been feeling really sad lately. But I'm going to try and practice some stoicism this week. I don't want to complain a lot anymore. Um, Unless like I'm proactive. If I'm proactive about something, then I can complain about it. But if I'm not proactive, re my employment situation, then I don't want to complain anymore about it. It's very draining, and sometimes I'm just like complaining to people and I can tell that they do not give a damn. So, and I get it. Like someone just talking about the same thing repeatedly is very draining and annoying. So, yeah, I don't want to find myself in this loop basically. And yeah, last week I accomplished a lot of my weekly goals. So I did do something creative. I started crocheting a bolero top, but I ran out of wool. I finished, not finished my sister's scarf, but like I'm almost finished. I finished the batch of wool I had, which is great, and I'm really excited to like finish it and make it nice for her, etc. Um, she's one of the people who showed up for me last week, and it was really nice. Like sometimes I've been finding myself in these really dark moods, and then a loved one will show up in such a unexpected ways. And I think I really need to internalize that I'm not alone. I'm really not alone. I don't need to isolate myself all the time, even though like to me sometimes it makes sense, and not in the whole I'm isolating myself and saying no one is there for me and I'm alone in the world, because I know that I'm not alone in the world, but being alone with myself sometimes helps with things. And sometimes I just want to be sad, not in a destructive way, but just like to allow myself to feel whatever emotion that I'm feeling, sadness most of the time. Not most of the time, but yeah, and allow myself to process it and not have someone alleviate that feeling. So, because sometimes when you go to someone and you express that, well, not sometimes sometimes I go to someone and I express that I'm feeling sad, and the response is for them to make me feel better and show me the brighter things in life, which I get that impulse, but oftentimes I just want to be allowed to just feel that emotion. Um, yeah, but it gets tiring, obviously. And then what else? I washed my big blanket and I finished washing it, so that was nice. Um, and I don't have like a lot of laundry. I'm planning to wash my curtains this week and the little laundry I have, because last week was really nice that I had a lot of my core duties done. So I didn't have a lot of dishes. I didn't have laundry to wash. I was living in a clean space, which allowed me to rest for the majority of that week. Took form in the shape of just sleeping, waking up, watching a movie, and just generally resting. So I want to have that this week as well. So I hope to like wash my curtains and laundry tomorrow, and then on Wednesday I want to take myself out. Like I have some groceries to do because I'm out of groceries, and I also want to just watch Killers of the Flower Moon. I did want to go to the botanical gardens, but I don't think it's going to be financially feasible at the moment. I can decide after the 31st and like all my debit orders are out, etc. And I want to make more progress on my sister's scarf. I'm thinking of like crocheting, finding like, I want to crochet like a top, and I have extra wool, so I want to see if I can play around with that. And I want to say that I want to make a dent on this book, on this Crime and Punishment, because there was like a bit that I read. I read 3 pages last week, but there was this part. 30, 34, and Raskolnikov just left this man's house. I think it's Mamadov, and he's like wondering because he like left like a little money for his family, and at first he's like, I shouldn't have done that because he doesn't have money himself. And then he wonders that what if I'm mistaken? He suddenly found himself exclaiming, what if man, the whole human race in general, I mean, isn't really a villain at all? If that's true, it means that all the rest is just a load of superstition, just a load of fears that have been put into people's heads. And there are no limits, and that's how it's meant to be. And yeah, such a hopeful paragraph springing out of like not nowhere, but he's very bleak and he's in a very bleak situation. And I always have these moments myself, and yeah, I don't really believe that the human race is really that good. I think the world, as James Baldwin said, is held by love by a group of small people, and I don't claim to be that small group at all. Um, but there are these moments where you see like people, all of us collectively try to make a difference. And yeah, I wonder about morality a lot because like sometimes things are just like so bleak. Um, uh, and I think it's just because I also live in a environment where there's a lot of crime. So I'm always like anxious and anxious for my life and others' lives that yeah, people I don't know, I find it so hard to grapple with how easily people kill other people. Like it's so scary to me, and the value of someone's life then but people probably that I'm like proximate to is so little to them, and I won't know. I don't know, it's just confounding stuff to me, to be honest. um but I also try not to be too pessimistic about it because I guess that's just been human life. Not just human life, but like as humans, as animals, that is how we are in essence, I guess. I don't know. And I also want to, this book, The Drum Decade, blending fiction and nonfiction, and basically reporting stories from the 50s. Very anxious to finish it. I've been mostly reading it on my way to work, but I'm at this point where I just want it out of my radar. Um, and not in the way that like I just put it as do not finish because I typically wouldn't mind that, but since it's a physical book, I just also want to decide if I want to own it. Um, like when I'm reading the stories and everything, like I'm engaged. The writing is good. Um, Nothing out of this world, but very engaging. You can like immerse yourself in what the writers are going for. Um, then I'll put it down, and it's not like a novel, and I want to be reading something that I'm just so excited to pick up constantly. So yeah, and again, that's why I really just want to get into the crime and punishment instead of yeah, it is quite a difficult text though, but I think if I put my mind to it, I will. I am really, really immersed in this. I think I'm also just a bit sad because I read like it's very fast, firstly. And the red wedding happens and I really love Catelyn. I used to think that I didn't really care about her, but she was one of my favorite characters. And I know she comes back obviously as some like vengeful zombie, but ugh, I was so sad. I'm actually, yeah, I think the book is contributing to a lot of my sadness right now. Yeah, I love Kat. There's nothing else to say, but just I love her. Um, I always like think of the criticism that mothers, not all of literature, but like sometimes mothers are reduced to these like protective, fierce, like she wolf in Kat's case. But I like that shit. Like I love it when mothers lose their shit when any kind of harm happens to their children, and they really are protective of their children and they love their children. And there's so much to Kat than motherhood, obviously, but it's like such a central part of her. And I love that so much. And it also just, every time I'm reading her chapters, because I was thinking yesterday of some conversations I've had with my own sisters who are mothers and other people who are mothers who are close to me, and the things that they're willing to do for their children, in terms of like violence. And it's so fascinating to me, that I also get it. Uh, anyway, let me show you my bolero and my sister's scarf where it's at. Okay, this is where I'm at with my sister's scarf. This is how long it is right now. I can wrap it around like this, but I wanted it a bit longer so that it can, you know, I'm gonna wash it because yeah, it's been quite a while. And then I think I'm gonna add some tassels, but I don't know if I should get more wool like this for the tassels, or if I could possibly get like thinner wool, because the thick wool is quite pricey and financially I'm in a difficult place. Um, and then my bolero, I used like a thick wool that I was initially going to use to crochet a bucket hat, but I decided to just like start this, and yeah, it took me a couple of hours. And then it's going to be, because I just wanted like a bolero for summer, but I think this is going to be too warm for summer. Um, but like on those cold days, and then it'll have the sleeves, of course. And yeah, so I'm really glad that I did this, did something creative, and I have my goal set. I'm planning on making a zine for myself. I think it should just be about the year in general. That's probably made a awful sound. And yeah, I've started playing around with an idea and opened like uh started compiling some slideshows for it. Mostly like fashion things, but I do wanna see if I can make something. And yeah, that's it for today. I am going to read some more. I think I'll sweep. Let me sweep actually. Just want to get like chores out of the way so that I can be at peace and don't have to be like, oh, I need to do A, B, and C. And anyway,